Well, Happy New Year, Chairman.
Happy New Year to you too.
Yeah, we're not going to start all over. We had some difficulties with getting Pretty May to actually do its job and record the conversation, but nonetheless, we're rolling now.
Thank you for downloading the Make and Break podcast. For more information, visit us at makebreakshow.com.
Saturday, 6:10 p.m. Message 1.
This is Make and Break.
Fantastic.
So, as a quick recap, I guess you had a quiet night hanging out at the house and enjoying the confines of your temporary abode in magical Salt Lake City.
Yes. Yes, it was a pretty laid back evening. I for most of the night forgot it was New Year's, and then it was 10-2, and I decided, oh, I should stop watching porn and put on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve.
Well, what's it like celebrating New Year's 2 hours later than you ever have in your life?
Yeah, that was odd. That was kind of weird. It was off-putting because I was like, because it still said live, but it was one of those things where I was like, is it really live or are they just rebroadcasting it and there happens to be a live window? Because I've never watched anything on TV on New Year's past the ball dropping. So do they just keep going and they're like, oh, the East Coast they're done with us here. Move on to Central then Mountain Time.
I'm guessing that they just play a tape 2 hours later because I can't imagine that they lift the ball back up and then every 59 minutes drop the thing
But there
again.
was no ball. That's the thing, is there was no ball.
Oh.
It was Dick Clark counting down, and they actually did it from like 30. So I think it might be like they're like, fuck, I don't know, what do we do? I don't know, get Dick Clark out here.
It does, okay, now that you say that, it does kind of sound like they might hang out there in Times Square until 3 in the morning until California's happy.
Hmm.
Weird. I never, I've never really given it that much thought.
Yeah, they're just they're just filling time. They are just straight up filling time. They're like, because like seriously, usually they do it from 10, don't they? And they're like, well, I guess we're gonna
29, 27,
seriously,
163, 162.
right?
I actually had a moment last night where I had this big idea that I would use my phone and record the crowd cheering right at midnight. The Thunder Chiefs were playing. Uh, Nino was playing drums. Mary McGuire was on the guitar. Uh, John Chambers was filling in on the guitar a bit, and then on the bass. And Gary Rasmussen was hammering down his on the Thunder broom. And it was great music, you know. Like they finished up a song in like just the nick of time and announced, "Okay, everybody, it's Happy New Year." And I like there was no forewarning at all that that was gonna happen. And so I was like, I like was trying to whip my phone out, and I realized that I had to go. You got to go through all this rigmarole to get the voice recorder out, you know.
Right.
And so I was caught with this look on my face of ooh. Somebody actually called me out on it, like it's Happy New Year. Why are you so upset?
Because
Oh gosh, yeah.
2010 was so good.
Don't worry about it. Moving on, moving on. I'm not even going to try to explain what it was I was attempting to do.
It's nothing. Mind your own damn business. Oh, and Happy New Year.
Fuck you! I'm trying to have a good time. Trying to remember this joyous day.
So how's the island in in the beginning of the year?
The island in the beginning of the year. Well, at the end of the year, the island decided to warm up to 45 degrees and rain, so that washed all the snow away, and now it's back down to being in the 20s, and so the snow that didn't melt all the way is now covering the roads with a layer of ice.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was yeah, it's pretty cool. And so it was warm outside last night. It was about 40 degrees, so it was nice to go out and it was comfortable to go have a smoke without your jacket on. But then the bar at some point was about 8,000 degrees. There was a guy in the back actually smelting lead down. He was making tin soldiers. Yeah, they pass a law where you can't smoke in the bar anymore, but you can melt lead down. That's fine.
Yeah, this smelting is a-okay. The people out here, absolutely mystified by snow. I don't understand how you can live in a valley surrounded by mountains where it snows like every day, and they are just baffled when it actually hits the valley.
What is this? It's God's dandruff.
They are so completely unprepared for snow.
I find that really hard to believe.
It took me, okay, there is a decent sized snowstorm that came through, and it was over when I got out of work at 11:30. It took me what's normally a 15-minute drive home from one end of the city to the other on the highway. I left at 11:30. I got home at 1:22.
Good grief.
And I'm in a four-wheel drive. Nothing had been done to the roads in the last 3 hours after the storm, and the roads were all just ice. It was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, there was not a plow to be seen anywhere. It was like they just, well, because it had gotten done snowing at 7 or 8. And I'm thinking, why is everybody at work here kind of freaking out about driving home? They got 3 hours to clean the fucking road up. It's not like they're going to go through and do everything, but I figure, oh, well, let's get Bob out there and have him do the highways and stuff, No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing whatsoever was done at all. It's like they got one guy and he's just like, fuck it, I'm not working till 4.
Well, they got budget cuts in these tough economic times, and they got to make sure that the equipment is all prepared in this post 9/11 age.
Oh, right.
They're concentrating too hard on homegrown terrorists.
Drive home from work on solid ice, or the terrorists win.
That's right. I had an interesting thing occur last night.
Oh?
Yeah. And it's one of those things that you only hear about in movies, or it's a story that somebody tells you that you just listen to it and say, yeah, that.
Okay.
I was standing there drinking, chatting with people, and just being somewhat alone and kind of awkward, I guess. Just me in general. There were these two women across the way in front of the stage, and they were both reasonably attractive. And at some point, there was this guy. He was standing behind me, and he says, "What are those women pointing and looking at? Are they thinking that we're just so damn sexy?" And I kind of glanced over there, and they were both giggling and laughing, and I just said, "Yeah, it must be you, man," and pretty much left it at that. A couple of minutes later, I overheard the one say to the other, "What's his deal? He won't even make eye contact." At this point, I'm still utterly oblivious. 15 minutes, well, maybe not 15 minutes, a couple of minutes after that, this woman, a third woman, shows up. And she says, "Hey, you see the two women over there? They really think you're cute. You should go over there and talk to them." And I started laughing. I said, "Well, thank you very much. I'm going to get myself a drink, and I'll make my way over there." A friend of mine showed up, and I'd been intending to buy her a drink, so then, that kind of got held up and whatnot. Well, in the process of me finally trying to get over to talk to them, and in my head, of course, there's two women. I was almost having these thoughts of, I knew that nothing was going to happen that night, and so I just put all kinds of thoughts out of my head. And instead of even thinking about how, ooh, it's New Year's, there might be drunken, strange women, maybe I'll fuck one of them. I just went out, just not even thinking about that sort of thing. And it was actually really working to my benefit because I was just kind of like hanging out and having fun instead of obsessing about, oh, where are the hot chicks? And the third lady comes back and she says, you know, you need to go talk to those girls. And she's like, hey, you want to, you think I'm hot? And I'm like, yeah, you're pretty hot. And she's like, yeah, that's my boyfriend over there. And she points at her boyfriend, who is making out with one of the two women. And I'm like, you might want to turn around and go see what your boyfriend's doing. She says, I don't give a fuck what he's doing. I'm talking to you right now. I'm like, okay. Great. All right. And so we talked for a couple of minutes, and she ended up convincing me that we needed to dance. Well, she's not wanting to dance like, let's silly fast dance. She's like, I'm going to hold on to you. We're dancing. Meanwhile, the dude is only like 6 feet away, and I kept telling her that I'm not comfortable with this. I don't know if I'm going to get punched in the face at any moment here. And she kept telling me, don't worry about him. He's busy with, he's hanging out. It turned out that they had met earlier in the day because they were both staying at the Cottage Inn or Market Street Inn or one of those bed and breakfasts. So they're all like, they all knew each other. She's telling me that she's pretty much flat out telling me, yeah, those two girls are drunk and they both want dick. I'm sitting there like that's that's intimidating to me. I can't deal with that. Like, hey, come over here and fuck me. I don't know how to deal with that.
Why? No, it's very easy to deal with. You just said it. There's like Daniel. That's exactly how you. That hottie over there is asking for deep dickin'.
So
you walk over and you say, "Oh, hi, my name is Daniel. I will be giving you deep dickin' tonight." And they say, "Oh, thank you."
And talk to them. But like the girl with the boyfriend kept like kind of getting in the way.
Oh, one of those, yeah.
But it wasn't like cock block. It was more like, I want to hang out with you right now.
Right.
Right? And so it was just kind of weird. So then I conclude that I'm going to... It was just, it was fun while it was going on. And I was just like, yeah, okay, this is kind of weird. Sinclair's closes. And I was on my way over to the Mustang. And she's standing outside waiting for her boyfriend. And she sees me. I can't sneak by her. Now, the two that were in front of the stage, I don't even know where they went. They're gone. But here's the blonde. She pushes me up against the glass.
Ooh.
Attempts to make out with me, which I rebuff. Is that the word anyway? I make attempts to forestalling that. She grabs my junk.
Don't call.
She grabs my cock.
No, that's even worse. The scientific word is ding dang doodle.
Okay. She grabbed the ding dang doodle and the backup band. With conviction, to say that. And she tells me that she wants me to go back to her place. And I said, I think that your boyfriend would have something to say about that. And she said, don't you want to fuck me? And I said, I'd be more than happy to fuck you, but I'm comfortable with that, with your boyfriend. But, you're here with your boyfriend for New Year's. And she said, haven't you ever heard of swingers? And then right then, her boyfriend's standing there, and he says, yeah, I don't mind if you fuck her. She's into that sort of thing. And I'm like, okay. Wow, that's, okay. But meanwhile, in the back of my head, this guy, I don't know this dude, And like, he's drunk. And I honestly can't take a read of the guy of whether or not he's being serious about how, like, hey, come back to our place, fuck my girlfriend, and I'll watch. Or come back to my place I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you and take your wallet.
Right? I think the worst is option 3. Come back to my place and fuck my girlfriend with me.
Well, that was the other thing too. It like he
A devil's 3-way.
he's like, she's like, haven't you ever heard of swingers? Like, yeah, I've heard of swingers before, and she's like, yeah, I'm into that sort of thing. I'm not gonna, and like, you have like a let's talk about the details here conversation in the middle of the street. Like, well, we got to work out the logistics here. So how's it gonna work? Like, are you gonna suck me off while he's fucking you, or at some point, her cock's gonna touch? Because I'm not having any of that.
You got like a police notepad out.
Yeah, lay down the ground rules.
Like, all right, I'm gonna need you to sign here, initial here.
With great regret, I had to deny the request. So she says, that's okay. I'll just get one of these other guys. She's trying to give me her phone number. She's going to be here all weekend, and she's too drunk to make her phone work. So she hands me her phone, and the boyfriend's like, yeah, what's your phone number, dude? I didn't even give him my phone number. Like, he's wanting the phone number too.
Wow.
So she's like, that's too bad. And this other random dude, he's like, because she's not, like, I can't get her to stop holding on to me. So, like, there's, like, people, like, are noticing this conversation. It's not subtle right now, okay? And this kid, he's like, I don't know, this 21-year-old kid, slightly overweight. He can't be bothered to comb his hair, so he just shaves his head. It's just like, he's just that kid. I think he was wearing camouflage. I think he was wearing hunting pants. Like, this kid, it's like, okay, whatever, buddy. He walks up and he's like, I'll fuck your girlfriend. And she lets go of me and says, she hadn't even, like, seen this kid before. Looks over at him and says, all right, let's go. The three of them disappeared.
That didn't happen.
So I went over to the Mustang. And I'm feeling kind of like, what the fuck just happened, right? So then I was telling Joe, and he's like, you're a dumbass. And I said, I know. Hey, like I said, I couldn't tell if I was going to get mugged or what. It was just weird. It was a lot. It was too much all at once. It just kind of weird. Mustang was staying open till 4. This random chick, I've last night grew an appreciation for the long, tight sweater and the leggings.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
21-year-old girl, she sees me, concludes I'm her dancing partner for the next hour and a half. Yeah, I'm having a great time. Dancing around, making an ass of myself. 20 minutes after I was in the Mustang, Camo Pants Kid shows up. And I'm outside having a smoke.
No fucking way.
And so I said, so did you fuck her? And he says, oh, hell yeah, I did. And he proceeds to, like, do something completely ridiculous inside the bar that I missed because I was inside. He gets thrown out the door. He proceeds to walk down the steps, onto the sidewalk, go down to Edward's Gifts, and smash through the window.
Oh my god.
And all I could think of, so then he gets arrested, So all I can think of is, no, you didn't. There's no way to fuck that chick. You were only gone for like 20 minutes.
Right? If you did, I'm sure it wasn't very impressive.
Yeah, and you already have your clothes back on? Yeah, right.
Hell yeah, I did. Had time to shave my head again too.
Well, and that was the bogus thing about it. So even if he had gone to their room and that girl, she was pretty, she was drunk. Get back to the room and she just like falls asleep. That would have been an acceptable answer too. Yeah, well, yeah. By the time we got there, she sat down. She started taking off her shirt, and then next thing you know, she just passed out. And the boyfriend told me to leave. That would have been like, oh, okay, that's reasonable. I believe that story.
Right?
Did you fuck her? Hell yeah, I did, and it was good. Yeah.
Did you fuck her? That's I like to imagine you saying it like that.
I had just finished telling Joe the story, and so like Joe's still sitting there, and so like that gave the story provenance. Kid comes walking up the stairs. First thing out of my mouth is "fucker." It's like hell yeah.
Hell yeah! Woo!
Yeah, and so that was one of those things where I was really grateful to run into the girl that wanted to dance at Mustang, because I could have possibly dwelled on that for a little bit too long and then gotten into some kind of like, that was dumb.
Why didn't
I could have made this funny story even more funny.
I could have had my ding dong doodle in something?
Oh, I'd like to take you back to your hotel and have your boyfriend watch us screw, but I didn't bring any condoms.
There's another thing about here, by the way. I don't think they make condoms here.
Well, they might not make condoms there, but you're saying that they don't sell them either?
I don't. Right. I don't think it's allowed. I don't know, because I can't find a single girl around here who isn't a single parent.
Oh, you're not saying that from experience of like you've been trying to acquire condoms.
No.
What appears to be the use per capita.
Yeah. It's just like there is.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna mix another drink.
Let us know what you thought of this episode of Make and Break. Send an email to jim@makebreakshow.com.